Hey there, UniWarriors, Ennui Goblin here, coming back for our tactical round strategy videos. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the trickier units in the game to really master, and that is the Fuze. So the Fuze is the amphibious unit from the Sapien race, and what you have to keep in mind about it is that it is more fragile than any of the other amphibians. Salamanders are actually made to be a little bit tougher. The Mantis from the Titans is mid-tier in terms of its ability. I think it's got a higher shot, and it just is a little less fragile. And then the Fuze is a bit cheaper, but it is a little bit more of a glass cannon than, say, some of the other amphibian units. So placement of fuses is particularly important, and of all the units, this is the one where it is the most important to consider your terrain bonuses and where you want to actually set your attack from. So let's take a look at these players. This was a great match from the Autumn Sapiens versus Sapiens 23. And it's between Flying Dutch, who went on to win this tournament, by the way, versus a lower-level, newer player, Cat and Claw, coming in at 1733. And so I thought this was an opportunity to really see what impact can be made when you make very good placement and tactical decisions with Fuze versus ones where you could have capitalized on better strategies. Let's take a look. So both players open up with Marines across the board, which is the right decision to make on a map this dynamic, where you have all of these forest tiles and mountain tiles in the center with options for control. But if you look over to the north, you also do have these 4 coral spaces and all of this open water on a very narrow bridge space. This is the perfect space for amphibians. This map was really designed for it. If you look at all the way these swamps, and there's also spaces over here, plus the port options. So you can expect a lot of fuses to come out on the board. And let's just look at the different ways it was approached here. So once it gets pushed to round 3, Flying Dutch creates 1 fuse and then an additional marine, and then the response from Cat and Claw is to go push his marines forward and purchase 2 more fuses. So if we pause here, can you figure out and spot where is the error in this particular move from Cat and Claw? What one decision did he make that could have been done better? And so the mistake is actually at this position where this fuse comes out. So this fuse was the correct placement for him. However, now the fuses are too far apart. If he pushes forward with this fuse, he's not going to be able to get directly to the forest tiles, to the coral tiles. He's only going to be able to reach the forest. And it's going to put it within attack range of all 3 of these marines, or at least these 2 marines. Who can attack at this square, and really, if either one of these get even so much as a single attack, it's going to be as much as a 6 shot. Sometimes you can get even more. It's going to completely downplay the ability. Plus, these fuses are going to be much better if they are locked together. So the correct placement to take this fuse would be to place it on this square instead when you purchase it. That at least links it up with this fuse, and so you have full control, or you have more control over these tiles. If these fuses decide to make their advance upwards, you can beat them to the better tiles. If you need to draw them backwards, you have a swamp tile for a more of a defensive position. You can still push it up to this tile if you're able to clear up the space. You're also able to hang on to this tile and keep a firm shot on that city, and allows you to dictate the pace. And if you're trying to contest over this space, this is the contested space of the game, because you have both fuses fighting to make it available for a unit to sit on here and bring in that extra income. You need to have your concentrated firepower in one place. If you look over at Flying Dutch has 1 fuse here, but is keeping it back behind this guarded marine. This marine is also in the correct placement from Cat and Claw, but he also then, instead of purchasing a marine down here or purchasing in this space, he waits a turn, brings out a second marine, and then on his next turn pushes forward the marine, the fuse along with the marine, gets a push and a kill. And then once that happens, he builds the fuse behind it. Now these fuses, not only are they locked in, but they're doubling their firepower and keeping full control of this hexagon. This fuse is not going to be able to keep up. Plus, he is now no longer guarded by this Marine. If he were to go and attack the Marine and get that kill, yes, you get the kill and even up the credit score, but then you're throwing away 200 credits against these two fuses here, because both of these fuses combined will be enough firepower to eliminate this. Look, you get a 7 shot from the first hit. So you do an exchange of damage. However, the second one will come up and mop up and actually claim the kill, and then this one can dart back and heal. So if you look at how this game progresses, Cat and Claw is going to push up and try to get that Marine kill on that coral space, but now he's left himself vulnerable. Even when the Marine is on a city tile, he's still getting a -5 shot against this fuse. That's how brittle they are. His problem is you need to place it in a tile where it's not going to be able to be attacked. Specifically, Marines are the worst because in this particular instance, if a Marine attacks your fuse, you are basically having an exchange in which a 100 credit unit is losing most of its life and a 200 credit unit is losing most of its life. You're going to come behind in that exchange every time. However, if you look at Flying Dutch's fuses, once he finishes his turn, you have the Marine wall in front. The Marauder is unable to reach. If the Marauder were to go to this space and then on his second turn come to this space, he would have the possibility to get like a -7, maybe even a -8 shot against this fuse, but it wouldn't be enough to claim the kill. You cannot link it with the Marine at this position. So if that Marauder were to sit here, this fuse and this Marine would be enough to cripple it and possibly even trap it at this point. If the Marine was able to get an angle such that the Marauder is now no longer able to work and come back to the space where it needs to be in a defensive position behind the Marine wall. If you look over here, this fuse is also in a lot of trouble. If you were to push up to the coral tile where he needs to be, there's nothing protecting him from this block of Marines. If that fuse were to come up to this forest tile, even if this Marine were to push up and defend or stay back here, the fuse is either going to be on this square where he can't hit anything. He wants to have control of this triangle here, but he needs at least another fuse and another Marine in order to make that viable, because there's nothing to protect him. So if you're taking away one lesson from the way this match is played, your fuses have to have shields in front of them. Think about these shields right here. You've got 2 Marines guarding the line of fuses. Yes, the Marauder can't reach it, but also this Marine has to make a kill. His best option is to kill the city tile, but the fuses are going to remain in almost full health, which is just about enough to do 6 or 7 damage to the Marauder, and definitely enough to do 7 or 8 damage to the Marine. And that level of damage output combined with these Marines is going to make this a very formidable position. Alright. Do you guys have any replays of your games with fuses that you think is worth having a mention? Be sure to share the link in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you watch every Saturday and Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.